Okay, I'm just about to cut the fabric now with the pattern. We have already cut the pattern, but there is a way you position your fabric when you want to cut. You can see that I have laid the fabric, I folded it. The two self edges, they are on this side. You can see these are the self edges. So you put the two self edges together. Make sure you follow the right way to cut. Then I'm going to trim off the self edge. Just trim it slightly, trim it off slightly. It must not appear with your fabric when you cut it. So just trim it down slightly. It's okay like that. I think I won't need more than that. Then you fold your button stand. Remember I said that you will cut the front here. You cut the front here. You can see the way I position the front pattern. This is the front pattern. Then after cutting the front pattern there, you will position the back pattern on this side. You understand? That is the way to cut. You position the back pattern on this other side. Then you will cut the sleeves down. Do you understand? Okay, now I have already cut all my patterns. This is my front pattern, this is the back pattern, this is my sleeve, this is the front stay that I'm using for the button stand. This is the under collar. I use the hard collar stay to cut this, and then this is the collar. I use the lady stay to cut this. You know, all these dimensions are also in the workbook. All right, I have already ironed. You can see how I folded the edges of my sleeving. It's always better to do all this ironing before you start sewing. Like you saw in the video, I've already done my darts. What I did was that, you know, I checked the midpoint. I checked the midpoint. You know, the waist is 34 divided by 4. What's that? That would be 8.5. 8.5 divided by 2, that would be like almost like 4 1/4. Then I added ½ inch to it. So that was what I did. I made sure that I found the midpoint. Then I now folded all of them, use the iron to fold them, all of them to the midpoint. You can see now. So if I want to sew my darts now, I'm going to sew on this folded part. That it makes it easier for me to make my dart. If there is any other way you do your own dart, you can go ahead, but just make sure it is centralized. You can see the back too, I've already folded it to where I will hold my dart, so that makes it easy. Then another thing that I did while ironing was that I folded my button stand. You can see now for female shirt, the button stand, the one that will have your stay, your front stay, is the one that will be on my right part. This is it. The one on my right part is the one that will have the stay. Do you understand? So that is the reason why I put my stay on it. The one on the right side is the one that will have the stay. For male shirts, the one on the left side is the one that will have the stay. So it is the one on the right part that I put my stay. So that is what I did. The one on the left side for this female shirt, it doesn't have any stay. So I'm just going to sew it, run it down like that, then I'll go to the machine to sew. All right. Now to hold your dart, you know, this is a female shirt with front dart and bust dart. Now these are the front pieces. So to hold your dart, you know, I've used my iron to fold where I'm going to hold my dart. For the front dart, it's going to be 5 inch upward from the half length. You know, for this shirt now, the half length for this shirt that I'm working on, the half length is like on 15.5. So from this half length, I'm going to, this is the front panel, one of the front panel, the other one is under. Okay, I'm going to measure 5 inch upward from the half length, then 5 inch downward. Now at times, if you are working on smaller shirt, the 5 inch upward, you may not need to use up to that. You may use like probably 4.5, 4 inches, especially if you are working with smaller sizes of shirt. But the 5 inch downward is standard. You can always use it. Now for the back piece, this is the back. So I'm going to do that 5 inch upward standard, 5 inch downward for both the front pieces. Do you understand? Then I'm going to hold the bust dart here. The bust dart, the standard too, is 5 inches. You can say this is the shape that we cut with the bust dart because of the pinning. It's always 5 inch standard, but that 5 inch we go for bigger size of shirts with bigger bust size. But if you are working with smaller size of shirt, probably with bust 32, bust 34, bust 36, or bust 38, you can still use like 4 inches. Do you understand? You can use 4 inches of using instead of using 5 inches, and your bust must go on top of the center dart. You will see it while I'm sewing it. I just want to explain it, so when I'm sewing it, you can see what I did. Now for the back part, it is from, you also measure from half length 15.5, then from the half length you will do 7 inches upward and 5 inches downward. These dimensions are in your workbook, so you don't need to cram it. You do it for both sides. You understand? So when I'm sewing it, you will see, but note the measurement. Those are the standard measurement for applying that on your female shirt.